this curves up this way. It's not good or bad, it's yours. That's the creativity in you. Hi guys, I'm Tom. Welcome back again. Today we're going to color our flowers. New viewers, if you missed the first video, you should watch that first. Alright, let's get started on the video. Alright, these are the pastels I use. They're Alphacolor, and all you need is 12 pieces. You don't need a large set, but if you want to get a large set, you can do that too. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I have the yellow flower down and I have my drawing. So let's start to paint with pastels. I usually keep a scrap piece of paper right to the side. This is one from before, from our last class. So that way you need to rub or check anything or practice on something before you do it. That's a good idea. So obviously we're going to need yellow for this. And what I do, guys, is I really study the flower and I look at it and I notice, okay, where are the brightest yellows, the lightest yellows, and some of the darks. And that's up to you. That's your eyes. That comes from you. So what I'm going to do is get this in the position that I believe, no, this was like that. This petal here is this over here, and this was down here. So what I'm going to do, you can start anywhere you want. I'm lefty, as you can see. So I wouldn't want to start on the right side of my paper and work across, because look what happens. So if you're righty, you wouldn't want to start on the left side of your paper, because then you got to put your hand across it. Now you can cover it with tissue or another piece of paper, but why make it difficult? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the right side, just work this petal a little bit. I'm just working right now on the color. I'm not too concerned about detail. And what I do is I kind of push this on, and you'll feel it go on. If it's sliding and it's not going on the way you want it to, then it's probably the outer shell has not been broken. Mine seems to be working okay. You want to do kind of a circular motion and a sweeping motion. So what I'm going to do here is just demonstrate a little bit on how I put the basic color in. Now, with white paper, sometimes you don't even need white. Say I put this in here like that, and I want to blend this. See how this section ends right here and it's white? So what I can do is take my finger and pull. And what I do is I pull it on the edge. I'm pulling it on the edge, and this dust, this pastel dust, you can use that. And what I do is I pull it and I keep pulling it. I can go back this way if I want. I can come up in here. Basically what I'm doing is I'm pushing the pastel dust in, and as I come across, you'll see that it starts to lighten up out here. Alright. Now, you guys might not have this line. I'm trying to avoid, I already hit the pencil line here, but I'm trying to rub that away. Alright, so this is a way to blend it without using any other color. There's a slight blend there, and that gives an appearance of a curve. Now if I want to go a little further, I'll get my white. This one's broke out of the box, but that's okay. These are going to break on you, don't worry about it. So if I want to put some light into the yellow, I go right on top of it. And I'm sweeping back and forth, and I'm almost mixing the color, mixing the pastel dust right into the other yellow. I'm not going to go up too far in there. I'm just going to stay down in here. All right, and I'm just feeling really relaxed about where it is. There's no perfect place to put it. You know, I'm going to come right in there, and then you can, I'll put this over here, then you can come back with your yellow again and go back over it, you know, and blend. I mean, I have a plan here, but it's not a set plan. If you make a set plan, I'm going to go into this corner here. Now let's just say, all right, we're underneath. This petal is on top of this petal. So I've shown you how to go from the yellow to a lighter yellow. Now, if you look at this, see how this yellow kind of ends? I'll just pull that into this lighter area. Now, if I want this darker, what color do you think we would use here? You want to use a darker version of what's yellow. I don't have the color wheel in front of me, but next to yellow would be orange. So we're going to go get some orange. And before I use the orange, I noticed it's a little tough on the corner. I'm going to make a little spot over here. Get this over here so you can see what I did. Just a little spot to get the edge open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of orange in here, and I'm using the pastel to actually blend. Now you can use anything to blend. You know, there's blending stomps, you can roll up tissue. What you want to do is keep your hands clean. So once I start to get this, maybe you use another finger or you use your other hand. Now I'm lefty, but I can still use my other hand. So what I'll do, I'll go back to my left hand. I feel better with that. And I'm just going to take this orange and I'm going to work that orange a little bit in underneath there. Let's go with a little more. Now, this is my technique, guys. This is the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. Do it the way you feel most comfortable, right? Remember, I'm trying to avoid the old pressure, like, is this good kind of thing, you know? It's not good or bad, it's yours. You know, there's no art that's good or bad. All right, so you can kind of see. Now if I put a little yellow next to this, say the next petal up is a little yellow. I don't even mind that line actually around my edge. That kind of looks nice. All right, so now you can kind of see how that creates a little bit of a depth. You have this in front and then this is behind. I like using pastel. It's so soft and blendable. That's what's so awesome about pastel. I'm going to go in with a little more yellow here. Now what I would do is I'd probably carry this orange all the way down in this section here in towards the center. You know, it's orange, but you want it to be yellow orange. You know, I see a little bit of orange. I might be getting a reflection of the orange here, but you know what? You have to see it as you see it. So I'm going to go in here with orange in that center. Maybe go over it again. The other thing you want to do, you want to keep some tissue, and if you get a little bit of the other color on your pastel, you just wipe it off. Now if you noticed one thing, you might think pastel is kind of messy. Well, it is, because you collect dust here. But what I do is I try to eliminate as much as I can by blending it into the paper. So, and I do that with my finger. You know, try to be a little free with your, you can always come back over it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding more yellow. I leave a little bit of light area here, it's going to create kind of a nice, bright center area. I would probably come down here with this. Come down with my yellow to create this little dark area here. Maybe I'll try to blend this out a little bit more. Maybe I'll use the white again to kind of tone down that real white spot. Come in here. That's pretty cool. We're getting into it now. There's our color. That's awesome. All right, guys. So what I did here was I went ahead and I did this other petal here. And when I look back at this, when I first did this one, I said, okay, this was really nice. It showed blending, and I was feeling that this was a nice approach. But then when I got to this larger size petal, I thought, well, how am I going to break that up a little bit more so it's just not so completely flat? And I'll show you how to do that. If you see here, I have some orange in there and with the white, and it gives it a little bit more of a curve, a little bit more of a flow to the flower, whereas this is a little more flat. And I could do the same there. I think I will, but I'll show you on this petal how it all came to be. All right, so I took my yellow and I worked my yellow in. I started with yellow in the center and worked my way out. What you're going to notice with this project is that you're going to go through a lot of whatever color flower your flower is. You're going to go through a lot of pastel. So I used almost a half a stick of yellow already. So what I'm doing here is this is kind of the base color. I'm getting the base yellow down on here. So if this flower is going to do this, I can almost already see it. It's going to kind of do this, and then it's going to curve this way. So what we spoke about before is light and dark create curves. So what I'm going to do is, I have a lot of yellow here. I'm going to pull the yellow and use all this dust, and I'm going to pull it up towards the center, and as I pull it, I'm curving just like I pointed out, that the way I think the flower will curve, like that, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm pulling the color. You can already see a slight curve to it now without adding any other white or orange. But I like the white. I like to use the white to kind of blend the yellow, to blend the colors together. So I put it kind of right on the edge of where I felt the curve was. Sometimes when you see areas, you know, you'll get inspired and you'll say, you know what, I saw a spot there, I think I'm going to add more of the white there, or the yellow there. That's the creativity in you. So just go with that. Don't be afraid to, you know, if you see something, or you get an urge or a feeling to add something, do it. You know, you can always go back later if you don't like it. Now what I'm going to do is show you how these little orange areas create some depth in the flower petals. So right now I'm looking at it. How do I want it to curve? Maybe this curves up this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little orange in here, curving the way I said it would. Pull the orange in the direction of the curve that I've been talking about. There you go. You can kind of see the curve occur. Now what I'll do is I'll come back with a little more yellow, and just to define that edge there a little bit, and then I'll put a little white in there. Alright, that's it for this one, guys. I think it's best if I keep the videos a little shorter so you can work on them at your own pace and then come back and revisit, and we'll continue on the next video with completing the coloring of our flowers. Sky blue, gummy eraser. Wash your hands. Take care now, and we'll see you on the next one.